Hey there, budget planners. Thinking about visiting or moving to London? Well, let's break down the costs so you can plan accordingly. First, let's talk about visiting London for a vacation. Accommodation is a big part of your budget. Budget hotels or hostels can cost around £50 to £100 per night. That's about $70 to $140. If you prefer higher-end hotels, expect to pay between £150 to £300 or $210 to $420 per night. When it comes to food, you can expect to spend around £15 to £30 per meal at mid-range restaurants. Quick bites or street food can be cheaper, around £5 to £10 per meal. Now, transport. London has an extensive public transport network. A daily travel card for Zones 1, 2 costs about £13.20 or around $18.50. Taxis are more expensive, starting at around £3.20 per mile, about $4.50. So, what's the total daily budget estimate? Approximately £100 to £200 per day. That's about $140 to $280 depending on your accommodation choice and spending habits. For a week-long vacation, let's break it down. Accommodation for 7 nights will cost you roughly £350 to £700. That's about $490 to $980. Food, assuming £30 per day, will be around £210 or $294. Transport, about £100 or $140 for a weekly travel card. So in total, you're looking at approximately £660 to £1,010 or $925 to $1,415, excluding flights. Now, if you're thinking about settling in London, here's what you need to know. Average earnings needed for a comfortable life in London vary widely, but a rough estimate is around £30,000 to £40,000 annually. That's about $42,000 to $56,000. Cost of living includes rent, which can start around £800 to £1,200 per month for a small studio or shared accommodation. That's about $1,120 to $1,680. In more central locations or for larger apartments, expect higher costs. Monthly grocery bills can range from £200 to £400 or about $280 to $560, depending on eating habits and shopping choices, including utilities and other expenses like transportation, entertainment and miscellaneous costs. Expect another £300 to £500 per month. That's about $420 to $700. Buying a house, the average property price in London varies significantly by area, but can range from £400,000 to £800,000. That's $560,000 to $1,120,000 for a modest apartment. For houses in desirable neighbourhoods, prices can go well over £1 million. It's also advisable to have savings equivalent to several months of living expenses as a buffer. Ideally, around £5,000 to £10,000 or about $7,000 to $14,000 to cover initial settling-in costs and emergencies. So to wrap up, visiting London requires a daily budget of around £100 to £200 or $140 to $280. For settling in London, you'll want annual earnings of £30,000 to £40,000, with rent costing around £800 to £1,200 per month. Buying property is expensive and having a savings buffer is advisable. Remember, these figures can vary based on personal lifestyle and preferences, but they provide a general guide for financial planning in London. Happy budgeting!